Did early Christians believe that Jesus is God? Yes. In fact, you can't be a true biblical Christian if you don't believe that Jesus is God, that he's the Son of God. But to show that the earliest Christians believed that Jesus was God, let's look at the book of John, chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. In verse 14, John continues by saying, "And the Word," referring to Jesus, "became flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth." Now some people will try to discredit this by saying, well, John wasn't written until about 50 years after Jesus died, so this may not be an accurate representation of what Jesus claimed and believed. The only way that argument would make any sense is if you ignore the fact that John knew Jesus personally and was possibly one of Jesus' closest disciples. For example, when Jesus was dying on the cross, John was there with Jesus' mother Mary. In his final moments before he died, Jesus said to Mary, "Woman, behold your son." Then he said to John, "Behold your mother." Essentially, Jesus was entrusting the care of his mother to his disciple John. He wouldn't do that if he wasn't close with John. Also, if your best friend was claiming to be God or one with God, do you really think you'd forget that, even if 50 years had passed? Yeah, don't think so. Also, if we look at the book of Romans, which was written by the Apostle Paul only about 20 years after Jesus died and rose from the dead, the Apostle Paul, who wrote more of the New Testament than any other individual, said that whoever calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved from eternal judgment, that is. Therefore, if Paul is claiming that a person can be saved from God's judgment by calling on the name of Jesus, this certainly must mean that Paul believed that Jesus was God, that he was equal with God. Otherwise, especially as a Jewish person, it would be blasphemy or heresy for Paul to claim that anyone other than God could grant escape from God's judgment. There are other scriptures that also show that Jesus claimed to be the Son of God and that he is eternal like God. For example, in John 8:58, Jesus said that before Abraham was, I am. Jesus said, "I am," for two reasons. First, if he had said, "I was," that would mean that he has not existed before time like God has. Jesus also said, "I am," because that is how God introduced himself to Moses in the Old Testament. So yes, early Christians did believe that Jesus is God.